Hey everyone, and welcome back to the AI Tech channel. Today, we're diving headfirst into something truly bizarre: AI-generated political communication. I'm not talking about chatbots or automated emails. I'm talking about AI creating entirely new realities, and frankly, it's kind of terrifying. Are we ready for a world where what we see can no longer be trusted? The implications are huge, and that's what we're unpacking today. Stick around, because this is going to get wild. You won't believe what AI is doing now, and what it means for the future of politics. I'm talking about the power to fabricate, manipulate, and outright lie, all with the click of a button. This isn't some distant future scenario. It's happening right now. Let's start with the absurd. Imagine a picture of the leader of the free world chilling on a beach with the Prime Minister of Israel, both sipping beers. Elon Musk is there too, dancing and throwing money in the air. Sounds like a fever dream, right? Except, these images are popping up online, and they're completely AI-generated. And then there is the golden statue of Donald Trump. It is not real, but many people thought it was. It's funny, it's weird, but it's also deeply unsettling. This is the new normal, folks. AI is not just writing code or generating art. It's creating political narratives. We're entering the age of synthetic media, where AI can conjure up anything it wants. And this is where things get dangerous. Think about the potential for misinformation. Imagine a deepfake video of a politician saying something outrageous, or a fabricated image designed to sway public opinion. How do we even begin to combat that? It would be nearly impossible for the average person to tell what's real and what's not. This is not just about silly memes. It's about the erosion of trust in our institutions, in our leaders, and even in each other. This is a scary new world, and we need to understand the risks before it's too late. We need, in the words of Dr. Siwei Liu, a researcher specializing in digital media forensics, what he calls an AI literacy initiative. This would educate the public on how to identify manipulated content and understand the implications of deepfakes. It's the only way to stay ahead of the curve. Now, shifting gears slightly, let's talk about astrology. Yes, you heard me right. Even astrology is getting an AI makeover. Apps like CoStar are using algorithms to generate personalized horoscopes, and they're incredibly popular, especially with younger generations. Transiting Pluto's semi-sextile, natal Uranus in Capricorn? That was the response CoStar gave to one journalist. What does it even mean? Well, supposedly it means that the position of Pluto vis-a-vis Uranus could spark creativity, reduce the need to conform to traditional work expectations, and unleash a natural sense of individuality, rebellion. Look, I'm not an astrologer, but the fact that AI is being used to interpret the stars is fascinating. It highlights our desire for meaning and guidance in a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain. Whether you believe in astrology or not, the popularity of these AI-powered apps speaks volumes about our current cultural moment. Speaking of cultural moments, let's talk about Hollywood. Donald Trump's return to the political stage is making a lot of people very nervous. A dramatization of his early career, called The Apprentice, had a buzzy premiere at Cannes, with Hollywood bigwigs in attendance. But here's the kicker: no major American studio wants to touch it. Why? Fear. Pure and simple fear. The fear of alienating audiences, the fear of being targeted by Trump's supporters, the fear of, well, who knows what else. This speaks to the chilling effect that political polarization is having on the entertainment industry. Are artists afraid to take risks? Are studios prioritizing profits over creative freedom? It's a complex issue, but it's clear that Trump's presence is casting a long shadow over Hollywood. Let's switch gears to something a bit lighter: Beyoncé's foray into country music. This isn't some sudden whim. Beyoncé has been hinting at her country roots for years. She's launched clothing collections inspired by the overlooked history of the American black cowboy. She sat astride a crystal horse for an album cover. Her lyrics have frequently referenced her upbringing in Houston. Earned all this money, she sang on Formation in 2016, but they never take the country out of her. This is a deliberate artistic choice, a reclaiming of her heritage, and a challenge to the traditional boundaries of genre. It's also a smart business move, tapping into a massive and loyal fan base. Beyoncé is a master of reinvention, and this country turn is just the latest example of her genius. Now, let's talk about a film that actually got it right: Prey, the Predator prequel set in the 18th century. A young Comanche woman must fight an alien from another planet in order to survive. Sounds familiar, right? But what makes Prey so successful is its commitment to historical accuracy and its respectful portrayal of Native American culture. Neru, the protagonist, is a strong, resourceful, and believable character. The film doesn't shy away from violence, but it also doesn't glorify it. Prey offers valuable lessons for other historical sci-fi films. Do your research, respect your source material, and tell a compelling story with authentic characters. The director, Dan Trachtenberg, mentions in an interview how important it was to consult with Comanche elders to ensure the representation was accurate and respectful. And finally, let's wrap things up with a look at God. Yes, God. Turns out, God gets mixed reviews on Amazon. His marketing campaign, now in its third millennium, has been strong. His slogans, God is great, are positive, and indeed many shoppers effuse. Wonderful, reads one 5-star review beneath his best-known work, the Bible. Beautiful, says another. Amen, adds another satisfied customer. This is, of course, a satirical take on the commercialization of religion, but it also raises some interesting questions about faith, consumerism, and the power of branding. Is God a product? Are we consumers of faith? It's a provocative thought, and one that's worth pondering. Speaking of provocative, let's consider the new TV series Disclaimer. Early reviews are all over the place, ranging from 2 stars to 5. Is it a must-watch or a dud? The answer is both. The show is an example of what might be called good-bad art, and a lesson in evaluating it. It's lavish, it's ambitious, it's directed by Alfonso Cuarón, and it stars Cate Blanchett. But it's also flawed, uneven, and sometimes downright confusing. Disclaimer is a reminder that art doesn't have to be perfect to be interesting. Sometimes, the most compelling works are the ones that take risks, even if they don't always pay off. As the philosopher Slavoj Žižek would say, enjoy your symptoms. On a completely different note, let's talk about a growing trend in China, escaping urban life for rural peace. More and more Chinese are fleeing the big cities for smaller towns and villages, seeking a different kind of Chinese dream. One popular destination is Dali, a small mountain town in southwestern China that's become known as Dalifornia. This reflects a desire for a slower pace of life, a connection to nature, and a rejection of the relentless pursuit of material wealth. It's a reminder that success doesn't always mean climbing the corporate ladder. Sometimes, it means finding happiness in simplicity. And finally, let's not forget the guilty pleasure that is reality TV. In New Zealand, a contestant on Race to Survive has been disqualified for killing and eating an endangered bird. In Britain, a performer on Strictly Come Dancing has left the show after kicking his on-air partner. In America, the makers of The Real Housewives of New York City are being sued by a housewife who says producers got her drunk to make for better television. Reality TV is irritating, it's often exploitative, but it's also undeniably irresistible. Why? Because it offers us a glimpse into the lives of others, a chance to judge, to empathize, and to feel a little bit better about our own messy lives. 2 new books argue for doing away with the rich, not in the Pol Pot sense of murdering them all, for the writers are impeccably nice. Rather, they favor policies that would make it impossible to have too much money. This is a controversial idea, to say the least. Is it morally justifiable to limit wealth accumulation? Would such policies stifle innovation and economic growth? Or would they create a more equitable and just society? These are complex questions with no easy answers, but they're worth debating. An autobiography typically starts in childhood and ends in old age. Not Richard Flanagan. The Booker Prize-winning Australian author's new memoir begins in 2012 and jumps between time periods and settings. In the hands of a less skillful writer, this twisting tale might annoy. Mr. Flanagan, however, is a master storyteller. This is a reminder that there are no rules when it comes to storytelling. The best narratives are the ones that surprise us, challenge us, and leave us thinking long after we've finished reading. My Land Rover broke down twice on the first day. The first time, the fan belt snapped, the engine boiled over, the brakes and steering seized up, and the dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree. This is a reminder that life is full of unexpected challenges. Sometimes, things go wrong, no matter how well prepared you are. But it's how you respond to those challenges that defines you. Do you give up? Or do you find a way to keep moving forward? In January 1919, Munich was in turmoil. Revolution had swept away the king of Bavaria, installing a ramshackle regime. As in much of Germany, rival factions battled for power on the streets. This is a reminder that history is never truly over. The struggles of the past continue to shape the present. And the ideas of thinkers like Max Weber remain relevant today, helping us to understand the complexities of power, politics, and society. Few writers have achieved the cult status of George Orwell. He is so much a part of the collective imagination that one Orwell scholar calls him the most important writer who ever lived. This is a reminder that words have power. They can shape our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions. And the writers who dare to speak truth to power, like Orwell, will always be remembered. Perhaps it is Frodo's hairy feet. Perhaps it is because orcs are not that erotic. Perhaps it is because too many characters sing songs containing words like Mario and Deedle Dum Diddle. Whatever the reason, J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings is rarely considered an erotic romp. But the genre of romantasy brings dragons and eroticism together. At last, to understand hip-hop's future, look no further than the lead single on the album Utopia by Travis Scott. The song's beat is part Brazilian, inspired by Bale's funk. Featured on the track is The Weeknd, a Canadian sensation, and Bad Bunny, a Puerto Rican who raps in Spanish. The song's title is K-pop. This is a reminder that culture is constantly evolving, and that the future belongs to those who embrace diversity and innovation. So what's the solution? How do we navigate this new world of AI-generated realities? First, we need to be aware of the risks. We need to be critical consumers of information, questioning everything we see and hear. Second, we need to support efforts to develop tools and technologies that can detect deepfakes and other forms of manipulated media. Researchers at UC Berkeley are developing algorithms that can identify subtle inconsistencies in AI-generated images and videos. And third, we need to foster a culture of media literacy, educating people on how to identify misinformation and disinformation. This is not just a technological challenge. It's a societal challenge. It requires us to rethink our relationship with technology, with information, and with each other. The future of truth depends on it. What do you think? How worried are you about AI-generated political content? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more AI news and analysis. Thanks for watching.